Hello, my friends. Hey, it is Kylan and it is Think Tank Thursday. Now, the law of trade-offs. I'd love to tell you that this is one of my favorite laws, but guess what? It's not necessarily one of my favorites, but it's been one of the most impactful laws of my whole life. Now, what is it? You have to give up to go up. That is a law. You have to give up something if you want to go up somewhere else. So, my friends, think about that for a moment. If you truly want to be over the top successful, you've got to be willing to give up things in your life. You have to be willing to let go of what is so that you can take on what could be. And that is vital. Think about this for a moment. If you're standing on first base, and you need to go to second base. You're on first, you need to go to second. Think about this. The hardest part about stealing second base is leaving first base. You've got to get off. You've got to get off the base to actually be successful with it. So let's dive into some of these laws and how this law actually works. Now, I'm going to tie in and show you three things here that are going to be really, really important if you're going to be successful with give up to go up, the law of trade-offs. One, what will it take for you to reach your potential? Ask yourself that question. Second, what are you willing to give up? And third, what will you have to give up? That's a key component. What will you have to give up? See, look at this. Not being willing to give up something is the key reason why most people will never reach their potential. My friends, potential and performance are two totally different things. And I see so many people that are measuring performance, performance, performance. Everything is about performance. And we're not measuring potential. You know, one of the challenges that I see in the leadership space, we have what's called KPIs, key performance indicators. And while I understand the need for key performance indicators, I don't think we're using the KPI the right way. We're not really using them the right way, in my opinion. Now, I understand the need to look back. Performance is always based on a historical component. It has to be something that is done in the past. That's what performance is. Now, when you think about potential, I like to look at KPIs from key potential indicators. Are we achieving the greatness of people that is within them? Because if we're not looking at the potential, if we're not looking forward at what they can be or what they could be, then we're missing huge opportunities. So think about that again. Not being willing to give up something is the key reason why most people will never reach their potential. You are made for greatness. Now, the truth about trade-offs. Trade-offs are available our entire lives. Trade-offs are available our entire lives. People don't often think about that, but it's a truth. Whether you want to believe it or not, whether you want to accept it or not, they're around you all the time. Why? Because they're choices. The choices that you make result in the trade-offs that you get. Trade-offs are opportunity for growth. Think about it. Trade-offs give you opportunity for growth. If you trade something here so that you can take on something over here, it is an opportunity for growth. There really is no other way to actually achieve growth without giving something up. Trade-offs force us to make difficult personal change. This one's hard for people, really hard for people. For a lot of years, it was hard for me because I didn't necessarily want to change unless it was guaranteed. If something was guaranteed, then I'd accept the change. But if it wasn't guaranteed, then I was a little skeptical on whether or not it was really going to happen or whether it was really good for me. Okay, so you got to think about those things. Are those things that you are actually willing to do? Trade-offs are available our entire lives. Let's dive into this a little bit deeper. Unsuccessful people make bad trade-offs. All right, stop there, hold the ship. Whoa, are you serious? Is that what this is all about? When I look around and I see all the unsuccessful people, it's because they've made bad trade-offs? Oh, yeah, actually it is. See, that's something that we have to accept, is that we are the result of the choices that we made to get us to where we are right now. And unsuccessful people make unsuccessful choices. That's what it boils down to. We can blame the culture, we can blame society, we can blame the government, we can blame our education or lack thereof. We can blame everything else. But at the end of the day, it's our choices, and we need to take ownership in that. Here's another one. Average people make few trade-offs. Average people really aren't doing a whole lot out there. Average people just want to be average. And remember what we talked about with average? It's like the best of the worst, or the worst of the best. What do you want to be? I don't want to be either one. I don't want either one of those things. I want to be better. I want to achieve my potential. I believe that God gave me an unlimited potential. And if that's the case, which I know it is, I see it so much in other people. If our potential is unlimited, that's what I want to go for. I don't want to sit back and just think, well, maybe I'll get somewhere in life. Maybe I'll achieve that goal. Maybe I'll achieve that outcome. No, that is not enough for me. I hope it's not enough for you. If being average is what you want, don't call me. Okay, I don't want to work with you. I don't want to be a part of what you're doing if you want to be average. I want to be a part of something that's great, amazing. Okay, successful people make good trade-offs. That's just the truth of the matter. Successful people make good trade-offs. And when you look around and you talk to people about what they've done in their lives, the decisions that they've made good decisions. And it really does boil down to that. Trade-offs are opportunities for growth. Now, we talked about that briefly earlier. Let's go through this now. Will I go through this change or grow through this change? Look at the question. Will I go through this change or grow through this change? You're going to go through change regardless. When we look at the world around us, the world is changing, the internet influence, a lot of things happening in the world around us. Our world is changing. But not everybody's growing. I see a lot of people who don't change in the world or trying not to change in the world, and they just fall backwards all the time. They're going the opposite direction. So what's up with that? What's up with that, my friends? Are we going to choose to grow in this world, or are we not? It is a choice. What about this one? What are the pulses? Or what are the pulses? Goodness gracious, what are the pluses and the minuses of this change? What are the pluses and minuses of change? Think about that for a moment. Opportunities for growth. There's always going to be a positive and a negative for all things in life. You have to know how to measure them. In a little bit, we're going to talk about some of the challenges of when you should not make changes. You should not make trade-offs. But these are all things you want to consider. There's going to be pluses. There's going to be minuses. There are positives and negatives all the time. Do you know what they are? Do you know how you should be looking at them? Now, this quote by John Maxwell, I love it. I've used it so many times. I have to think about it in my own life. We may not always get what we want, but we will always get what we choose. We need to choose well, because we're going to get what we choose. Whether we like it or not, we will get what we choose. So we have to make sure that what we're choosing is what we really, really, really want. Because we can't have everything. You can have anything, but you cannot have everything. And that's an important one too. We've got to think into the things that we really, really want. The truth about trade-off. Trade-offs force us to make difficult personal changes. Trade-offs are going to force us to make difficult personal changes. We have to choose if what we're going to do. We have to choose if what we're going to do is going to grow us. Okay? Trade-offs force us to make difficult personal changes. The changes that you're going to make, you have to choose. Are they going to grow us? Because if they don't, you may not want to choose them. See, when you want something you've never had, you must do something you've never done. Now, trade-offs force us to make difficult personal changes. You got to make that choice. If you want something that you've never had before, go do something different. But make sure the thing that you do is going to grow you. Make sure of it. Because if it doesn't, it'll destroy you. Bar none, my friends. It will destroy you. So be careful with that. I've struggled with things in my life. And trust me, the decisions that I make that are self-fulfilling, self-indulgence, things of that nature, they're not healthy. They're not good for you. So think about the changes that you make. Change is personal, possible, and profitable. When you make the right decisions for growth and you make the right decisions for the right reasons, guess what? You're going to be profitable. You will. Personal, possible, and profitable. Think about that, friends. Think about that. Think about the possibilities that are within you. If you use trade-offs to make the difficult decisions in your life, remember those trade-offs. If I give up this, I'm going to take on this. What am I giving up? What am I taking on? Take the trade-offs seriously. It is not worth cutting it short. Refusing to change means certain death to your potential. I should have put that word certain death into a big, big, big quote in here, because certain death of potential is guaranteed. Death of your potential is guaranteed if you refuse to change. I will promise you that. It is going to not happen if you don't change. Now, a loss is usually felt before the gain. This is where the give up to go up is. We don't always like to give things up because of comfort. Comfortable. We like to feel comfortable. But comfortable is not a good place to be. It is not a good place to be. You're not going to fulfill your potential. You're not going to fulfill your calling if you're comfortable. It's just not going to happen. See, the biggest reason that people don't change, okay, is because they're comfortable. The biggest reason people don't change is because they're comfortable and they're satisfied with their conditions. They're going to complain about it. They're going to bellyache about all its problems, but they're comfortable. And that's why they don't change. I know one of the things I've learned in the leadership space is if I can create an uncomfortable setting with their current position, then they'll change to a better one. When a leader says, I really want to be better, I want to be better, then that means I have to take them out of that comfort zone and get them into a different zone where they might be uncomfortable, but they're going to be better. See, the biggest reason people don't change is they don't want to be uncomfortable. But think about this for a moment. Nature abhors a vacuum. Nature abhors a vacuum. Now, the thing I think about when I see a quote like that, have you ever had that sense that maybe there's something in you that's missing? That there's something that God has placed in you that just isn't being fulfilled? I want you to think for a moment about nature, about creation, the laws of creation. When there's something within you that is feeling like it's missing, it is missing. And you need to be willing to change to address it. My friends, that's natural. But if you don't change, you're not going to get a different result. And that's the reality of it. Now, here's some more truths about trade-offs. Most trade-offs can be made at any time. They absolutely can. Trade-offs can be made at any time. You will never get too old to make a trade-off. Never, never will you get too old for it. How about this one? A few trade-offs only come once. A few trade-offs only come once. That's an interesting one. And you got to think into it. When you think about getting married, you know, that's an interesting thought. There's a trade-off. I'm going to trade in my single life to take on a life with another person. What's that going to be like? Am I going to make the choices to make that amazing? Or am I going to continue to try to live my own personal life in that time? We trade off certain things to take on something different. And those choices that we make are going to only happen a few times. Some of them will only happen once. So we have to be ready for that. The higher you climb, the tougher the trade-off. The thing I love about this one is when I think about going higher, I think about a mountain setting. I think about climbing and pushing myself to get to that mountaintop. Because when you get to the top, you can see so far. You can see so far out there. The view is unbelievable. Is it worth it? I've never climbed to a high point that I did not enjoy it. But it's hard. It is hard. So you're going to trade off certain things in your life to go up that mountain, to make that climb towards significance. Is it worth it? It will be. But it won't be if you don't put the effort into it. Okay? The skills that got you where you are not the skills will get you to the next level. The skills that got you where you are will not take you where you want to go. If you want to go to the next level in your life, in your potential, then you have to, my friends, grow. And you have to keep going on your growth. You don't stop. Keep growing, and you will keep going. Now, the truth about trade-offs never leave us the same. You're going to be different. When you make a choice, your mindset's going to be different. Your thinking, your potential, everything that you do is going to change. You're never going to be the same. You aren't the same today that you were yesterday. I don't care what choice you made yesterday. I don't care what choice you made this morning or this afternoon or this evening, whatever time it is you're watching this. I don't care. But the choice you made, even if you made the choice to sit on the couch and not move, that choice is consuming your time. And when you get up off that couch, guess what? You're no longer the same. You're older. You will never be the same. So think about the things you're trading in your life. Are you trading for the right things, for the right reasons? You're never going to be the same. So trade well. Some trade-offs are never worth the price. You may do things that you're going to regret. You may make choices that you'll regret. You'll make choices that are not positive for you, that are not healthy for you. So some trade-offs are not worth the price. Make sure that what you're about to pay is worth it. Make sure that what you're about to pay is worth it. What trade-off do you need to make right now? Think about that. What trade-off should you be making right now? Because if there's one in your life that you should be doing at this very moment, my question is, why aren't you doing it? If you should be, but you're not, why not? What's stopping you? What is stopping you from doing that trade-off? Think about it for a moment. Now, this trade-off here, not easy for me because I always go to the left side first. I love a great donut. But trade-offs worth making, we got to choose healthy. See, I can choose the donut. I can promise you I can choose the donut. And nobody's going to stop me. I can choose a donut. Chose a lot of them. But if I chose an apple, What am I going to get? A healthier lifestyle. Be stronger. Probably feel better. It's a choice. It's a choice that I made. It's a choice that I'll continue to make. But the choice has a consequence, and we need to remember that. Okay? Trade-offs worth making. Financial security for potential tomorrow. Financial security. Now read this next one. Immediate gratification. The fast life for the good life. Now think about it. What does the world tell you that you want? Financial security, immediate gratification, and the fast life. That's what the world says you should have. Security, gratification, fast life. My friends, think about those before you choose them. Think about the outcome before you choose them. What if you made financial security for potential? What if you gave that up? What if you gave it up? Think about this for a moment. Control your calendar or someone else will. Do what you do best and drop all the rest. Now I'm going to go in and dive a little deeper in each one of these, but I want you to think into it just for a moment. Your calendar is yours. Your time is yours. Are you doing what you do best with your time? Are you doing what you do best with your time? If the answer to that is no, my question is, why are you doing it then? Because somebody else or something else is probably driving your time and your life. So if you're not filling your calendar with the things that you do best, what you are called for, and the purpose that you're here for, why? If that's not what you're doing, why? Okay? Think about what you're doing best in your life and fill your calendar with it. Trade-offs worth making. What if you traded security for significance? Think about it. What if you gave up some of that financial security that the world says you need? What about that safe job, that paycheck? What if you gave it up to take on something significant? Yeah, is it risky? Sure it is. Is it worth it? Almost every time it is. Think about it. Significance is not going to be found in the safe place. It absolutely isn't. It'll be found in the easy place. It'll be found in the comfortable, or security will be found in the easy place, and security will be found in the comfortable place, but significance will not be found there. Not going to happen. Significance is found out there, where you're going to take the risk and you're going to serve and grow people at another level. That's significance. Okay? Addition for multiplication. Will you give up only what you can do? Will you give up just yourself? Because when you add to the world, that's good. But when you begin to multiply to the world, when you make the trade-offs, when you make the decisions to serve at a higher level, when you make the decisions to lead at a higher level, you're making the decision, you're making the trade-off to multiply your outcome, to multiply your potential, to multiply what you can do to serve the world. Lead leaders, not just followers. Don't just make a bunch of followers around you. Don't just always be the person in the front. Develop other leaders and then learn to follow them. Develop other leaders and go on a journey with them. Think about how great that would be. Think about how significant that would be. Be a conduit for blessings, not a reservoir of assets. Be a conduit for blessings, not a reservoir of assets. Financial security, not all it's cut out to be. We don't just want to grow a whole pile of money and a whole pile of things and give up the opportunity to be significant in the world. We don't want to do that, my friends. We want to be able to be a conduit to pass on blessings to others. And that is powerful. That is worth every trade-off you'll ever make. Now, my friends, as we start thinking about next week, we're going to talk about the law of curiosity. Hopefully that's not too much noise in the background. The law of curiosity, that's next week. The question of why. Growth is stimulated by asking why. Why? When we think about this question, young kids, little kids, they grow the most by asking why. Why is the sky blue? Why is the wind blowing like it is today? Why do these things happen? When we start asking why, we start taking ourselves to a whole new level, my friends. So join us next week as we think about the law of curiosity, asking the question, why? All right, my friends, that's it for this week. I'm going to challenge you, like always, go out into the world and seek truth. Seek truth. And when you do, use the truth that you find to grow in wisdom. Grow in wisdom from the inside out. And use that wisdom, my friends, to serve others. And you will learn how to make the trade-offs that are worth every moment of your life. My friends, we love you all. We pray for you all. And we do hope that God blesses you richly throughout the rest of this week and into the next. Bye.